Hey guys, just an update on what happened over the very busy weekend of both the Grand Dunman and Pine Tree Hill launches, two of them. One is a mega development, and then average price of 2,500 PSF. Of course, just a shout out to the exciting news that is happening all around Singapore today on both parties having the same problem, both political parties having the same problem. I'm not going to share here today because I don't want this to be a politically motivated channel. But it's interesting to see our boring Singapore having quite a little bit of drama recently, from the one minister, from two minister to one minister to this morning one WP and the other one is PP. Wow, things are getting a little bit exciting over here. But anyway, let's go back to the boring stuff. That one is not within my purview. That is definitely not within my expertise. So that is not something I should be going into. Maybe back to this. According to the Business Times, the average price was about 2,500 PSF for Grand Dunman. Total 1008 units available. 550 of them were sold. 54.6% overall. And two bidders were, I would say, expectedly most popular at 77% of them sold. Starting price 1.55 million, translated to 2,300 PSF. And this is the 2,300 PSF that got people, say sit up like crazy, go batshit crazy. But if you really know, this is typically if you know the market now, you know how developers typically price their units. These are the typical prices that people, the road facing, then or the not so good facing, then a lowest floor units, blah blah blah, which I think some people don't even take until like the last part, which is not surprising at all. Then followed by the three bidders, 61% of them sold, start at 2.21 mil, 2.21 mil being very popular even at this kind of price. And this is starting price. Imagine they go up to about 2.3, 4, 5, blah blah blah, and people are still buying like it's nothing like that. So it seems like the sweet spot is going around going up to about 2.4, 2.5 range for local Singaporeans. It becomes a very digestible for those who are still looking around. Of course, certain groups will be priced out, but private housing, there's only 20%. Not many. It's not meant to cater to the whole population. Let's just face it. Okay, and then one bidder units, 58% sold, still quite decent, starting from 1.09 mil, and then a much higher PSF of 2004. These are undoubtedly attracting more of investors who are just trying to rent it out easily due to the MRT proximity. Easy to rent, may not be the highest rental yield, but easy to rent out. But in terms of capital appreciation, as we know, or rather for those of you who actually do research, you would have realized that it's probably not the most attractive, I would say. Okay, sorry, I'm being a little bit lagging today. Too many noises going all around. Okay, and then 90% of the buyers are foreigners, 9% are PRs, 1% remaining are foreigners. We have no idea who are the foreigners. I would speculate should be more of US citizens again or any of the other four countries, because it really doesn't make sense to pay that 40%. And the others, you can go read yourself. This one over here, the ERA CEO is mentioning this price within 2.5 mil, which seems to be the current sweet spot pricing for many home buyers and investors these days. If you're on the ground, this is pretty much quite true. People are buying 2 mils like last time, 1.5 mil, 1.6 mil kind of thing. And according to the Promnex one, it says that it is in tune with prevailing market sentiment. Prices are pretty still sensitive depending on which range. Of course, you are getting in at the lower 2-3. I think you are pretty much still safe. But if you are getting at the high end or even average, I would think that is already something a little bit more on the risky side. Later we'll touch a little bit more about that. Because previously when we talk about Grand Dunman, I remember the indicative prices was out, and probably only after I published the video, then 1 or 2 days later the prices came out. That's why we didn't really have a very, very good assessment of that previously. Anyway, the funny thing was that just the night before, one of the viewers texted me saying that he saw the pricing, and then do I agree that pricing is very high for the particular unit types that he was looking at? And I was like, obviously, and it's not even at a surprise anymore. When I see the price list, I'm like, yeah, this is actually what we expect. But it seems that people are very shocked. I have no idea why you so shocked, because probably because you don't know the market enough, or you've never done enough homework. With so much launch, gathering that kind of check and delaying the indicative pricing all the way to the end, it is setting everything up in their favor. So when they have everything in their favor, why wouldn't they want to price it more expensive? If I'm the developer, I'll definitely do it. So I would say the marketing team and the sales team for Grand Dunman, it's a very, very job well done over here. That's why we hear of quite some people telling me that, they are, I got at least one or two other viewers telling me they are very disappointed with the pricing. And then when they were very optimistic, when they saw the pricing, their face goes like this. Then after that, they go elsewhere to, I think I'm not sure whether is it over here. Yeah, another article was mentioning that there was quite a bit of spillover effect to the nearby developments, which are Continuum and also Tembusu Grand, which is totally expected. But I would say more of the Continuum. If those who recognize more of value, you value more of like the intrinsic value of the all these developments, you compare, or rather more of, I would say, look at things from a more investor point of view. I think it goes without saying that Continuum is definitely a better buy than Grand Dunman or even Tembusu Grand. I still stand my ground. I'm not going to change my stand easily just because of the market, blah 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 here and there. But from fundamental point of view, based on, and then look at the launch prices point of view, I still feel Grand Dunman may not be the worst. I still feel that Tembusu Grand is still the worst, unfortunately. Grand Dunman is still better than that a little bit, and Continuum is the best out of three. But as I mentioned, caveat again, I wouldn't touch this area myself because it's the sheer amount of competition and the price point that is available. But if you die have to go, then I think it's very, very expected, and that's why we are seeing things like this spillover effect. You see over here, one day before the launch, 2 bought, 2 sold, and then another 2 sold this one is on the launch day, and then one day after for Tembusu Grand. Then, unsurprisingly, Continuum, look at the amount of units people are rushing in like it's much of another launch. So my question is, why? Why do you choose to wait until people rush in? That's the problem with Singaporeans. They like to rush in when people are rushing in. People go where, then they go where. People like queue here, whether the food is good. Most of the time, I think I mentioned quite a few times before, people ask me to queue for the food. I'm very reluctant to queue, because whenever I queue, the higher my expectation goes. And when I finally reach my turn, and I finally get my food and sit down and dig in, that is where I realize I'm disappointed. So people like to queue and rush in when other people are rushing. Can't remember which was the day that indicative pricing was shown, and this is the so-called VIP or agent booking day, if I remember correctly. I think agent booking probably one day before, maybe. So there are quite some units sold, and this one is for, the Grand Dunman day. This one is for Continuum. This whole thing Continuum. Okay, sorry, a little bit confused over myself. So after people see the units, and then they look at their ballot number, hey, no hope already, I should start going elsewhere. This guy, at least still kudos to them, they got their queue number, they realize, okay, this is hopeless, no point for me to queue for this crap, and then might as well I just go for this Continuum. So good move by this guy. Whereas this guy over here, this few of them, they got in not so bad timing. The rest is like, other people go, there I go, and then I all jump in together, and then followed by these guys. Second day they jump in, so there was a mad rush. And as I mentioned just now, why would you want to? That's why a lot of people say, hey, I want to wait. I want to wait. My question is always, yes, you can wait. Nobody's stopping you from waiting. I'm not going to stop you from waiting. What right do I have to stop you from waiting? But the problem comes when, do you even know what you're waiting for? and what you're waiting for, is it actually realistic? A lot of people are telling me, oh, I'm waiting for development A. Okay, fine, you're waiting for development A. What is their break even? How much is their expected launch pricing? If you look at the surrounding launches, how much they are launching? Do you think this one is going to launch higher? Blah blah blah. If you know all this, how to compare, then you would have more or less expected that their pricing is going to be this range. But people are just, oh, wait, you must wait until everything is right in front of you. You have clarity, then you take it, and then you react accordingly. You cannot expect to have clarity. You need to have long-term vision. You need to have longer vision. Once you just want everything in front of you, then you decide, sorry, you're too late. You're not going to be a very good investor, unfortunately. So that's why I get quite some viewers telling me, they text me, hey, how are the Grand Dunman is not the pricing like that, how am I going to do? I waited like 1 year plus for this, and then the pricing come out like that. At least like 2 or 3 of them tell me over the past 1 week. I'm like, see, this is exactly what I said. Why is so unexpected over here? I'm totally not surprised by the pricing, but people are reacting as if that they got a big hit in the gut. Like they expected, because of so many units, they definitely need to launch an average 2003. Come on, what is is that the real reality? They know you have the hype. They know everyone waiting for that. They collected so much check. Why do you think they need to launch at the kind of pricing? It doesn't make sense. If I were the developer, I wouldn't do it as well. Okay, so anyway, as usual, as per most development, or rather almost all development, there will be bounce out units. There will be some bounce out units. These are definitely not all. These are just the respective agency ones, and then there are already 4 bounce out units. Are they going to be more? I'm very, very certain, because there's only 1 or 2 days. And you still got some days before all the others are starting to come in. At least they are very clear. They receive bounce out unit, they throw it out back to the market almost immediately, or not say immediately, within a short period of time. But there are certain developments, they just choose to hide it because they don't want the market sentiment or whatever to be affected, which is fine, because each to his own, right? Everyone has their own strategy. So my question is always, why do you have to end up over here? Okay, the other concern that I always like to rather highlight when it comes to launches like this, where you have 3 concurrent on. I can't even think of which one has 3 other concurrents with very differing, with the same factors. Okay, there are a few others, but I realize they are not really apple comparison. Then this one is a little bit more similar, because they will launch at similar price points and then a very similar timeline. And you look at the 2 of them near the Tanah Merah MRT, how long had they been stuck here before, and why this movement suddenly over here? It would have been Seneca lah. Because you need one hero to pull you up. It's like the whole Pasir Ris 8 drama thing over again. You need a superhero to pull you up. And that is where I expect Grand Dunman and the supposedly Golden Triangle is going to end up being a trapezius or whichever. I haven't done maths for the longest time. Four sides, what do you call it? I don't think it's a square, because it's not going to be drawn as a square, right? Whichever it is. I'm not a maths teacher, I'm not going to talk about it. So how long have they been stagnating? Because they've been fighting each other. That's the power. That's the not say power. That's the impact of having two similar products too close to each other, even despite having MRT. This is another one. All 3 are very similar pricing, very similar age, and then look at how they fare over the long term. Came down, blah blah blah. We are the last part, and why did this last part actually suddenly move? Because bam, the new hero came in. Okay, so is that gonna happen over to these few developments over here? Okay, these 2 are the resale ones, and then plus the Grand Dunman over here. So Grand Dunman launch officially is 2005 plus. Over the next few days, likely it's gonna be people, they're gonna come in because they supposedly love the view or any other factors. They'll buy out the higher floor units, and this will push up the average pricing. So I wouldn't be surprised if the end of the quarter Grand Dunman launches, Grand Dunman locks a spot over here or even here. We will see. I think probably somewhere around here lah. But if we go somewhere around here, that means you look at the price point, the gap over here is easily, I think this is about 1,008 plus, 1,000-ish, not even 1,009 on average. That means you are looking at an average of about 600 PSF gap. Is that actually a safe margin for you? Okay, after all, these are always your competitor, because this is the Kota MRT, these two guys are just on the left side, Grand Dunman is on the right side. Why are they not a competitor? Some people may not always go for new. Some people like new. I myself like new, but but the thing is when the price goes too haywire, where everyone still like new, that's the problem. Okay, there is always a fine line to draw. So these two will before you think that this one will always keep going up and up and up. We see this is a very good development over here. It has a super good run over the past few years. Ever since 2007, ever since the en bloc fever, it has enjoyed a very, very nice run of prices. Shot up over, I would say, almost about 50% in terms of property value. That is super amazing. And you look at this whole period of time, all these guys were still underwater, and this guy was flying. So will this trend keep continue? No. Eventually it's going to reach an inflection point where it starts to come down already. You see, even this is one of the best properties in recent years in terms of resale performance, and we are seeing that the resale performance are starting to come down easily due to factors such as age and also interest rates. Okay, so all these interest rates impacts are starting to come in, because when you buy a resale, all these interest rates are gonna be coming in full blast at you, and that is where people they realize it's gonna be so painful. Then how am I gonna handle it? Especially now the interest sometimes now maybe some of the rental you are getting is maybe even cheaper than some of the interest that you are getting. Okay, so this will be all we have for today. Just some caution for you, for those people who are getting in at pretty ridiculous pricing because of the price gap over here. Alright, if you have any issues that you need to raise up or share with me or see how I can help, then by all means feel free to text me. I see how I can help. But of course, if you have an agent already, please go back to your agent, because if you trust your agent, just go and trust them. Just don't question them, because no point for you to jump here and there. If you want to stick to an agent, stick to them. Don't just ask here, ask there. It's only nice and ethical lah. Okay. And then see you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.